Hey, what's going on, guys? Shane here. And today, Bob has something he'd like to share with you. Go ahead, Bob. Well, Bob doesn't have it in him to tell you, so I'll just say it. Your punches still suck. How do we know? Because you clicked on this video. But it's okay, because by the time we get through these 5 tips, you're going to make massive improvements to your punches. So let's take a look at the first one. All right, here we go. First fight tip. What's that? You got to sneeze? Yeah, cover your mouth. It went away. Sure, look up at the light. I heard that helps. You good? You sure? All right. So the first tip is stop trying to look good. Now I know this one sounds kind of weird, especially coming from me because I'm such a stickler on proper form, but don't confuse proper form with effectiveness. All right, here's what I mean. A lot of people will over-concern themselves with each individual step when throwing a punch. They think about keeping the opposite hand up, keeping the shoulder high, taking the head off line, etc. But here's the other thing, those are all defensive cues, right? That's not teaching you how to throw a punch, that's how to lessen your chances of getting countered when throwing a punch. Does that make sense? Think about that. But here's what I'm trying to say is sometimes you just need to dumb it down. Instead of thinking about each individual step, think about just taking your knuckles and smashing it against its target. Get it there fast, hit hard, and take a path that's most likely to land. All right, some people will get paralysis through analysis just overthinking it. Now, here's the thing. You do have to do all those different things. You have to keep the opposite hand up, and you want to perfect that. You want to get the muscle memory, your body doing that without consciously thinking about it. But what I'm saying is sometimes you just have to dumb it down, and you just need to smash and hit the target instead of looking good, instead of looking fancy. Here's a good example. I was once complimented for my bow and arrow form. However, my accuracy was terrible. What good is looking good if you're not going to actually hit the bullseye, if you're not going to hit the target? It's the same thing with punching, right? I may look really nice, but I completely miss every time. Another problem that sort of causes this to happen is people will over-focus on power, throwing really big shots, or they'll focus on fast punches. But if you're focused on power, you tend to wind up, you're slow, and you miss. And if you're focused on speed, you tend to have no accuracy. Conor gave a secret away when he beat Aldo. He said that precision beats power and timing beats speed. That's 100% true. And the sooner that you can harness that and practice that in your training and use it in sparring and in competition, I promise you your punches will get better. Here's one way of doing that. Take the gloves off and we're going to practice bare knuckle. All right? Now, I want you to be very specific. Now, here's the thing I want to just preface with real quick disclaimer is don't go super hard on bob or on the heavy bag or on pads if you've never trained bare knuckle before. You have to go slow, you have to go light. I do have an entire video on knuckle conditioning because you have to take care of your hands. There's a bunch of small bones in here, very easy to injure your hands. So go slow, go soft, but I will have that link in the description, all right? Now here's what I want you to do. I want you to really focus on what knuckles are landing and where are they landing. So pick a spot on bob. You can draw little marks with chalk on your heavy bag and hit those spots. So I'm gonna be very, very detailed, very specific with where I hit. I want my index knuckle on my right hand to hit the right corner of his chin, right? Very specific areas. Back, little high, back. Again, little high, back. That was a good one. Yeah, I can see some of my dry skin coming off on his chin there, so that was a good one. But that's a great way to really start to focus on your accuracy. But again, even that was a little hard. Go soft, right? So it's just slow motion, bang. Feel it, bang, bang. All right, pick a different spot. I want to go left middle finger knuckle to Bob's floating rib, which is probably like right over here. Bang. Bang. Slow motion, good contact, perfect accuracy. Slow things down, take the gloves off, practice bare knuckle. Tip number 2 is don't be a hippie. It's a common mistake that I see that a lot of beginners make, usually after they take their intro class or if they've been training for about a month to 2 months, and they make the mistake that looks something like this. Their timing and the mechanics of the punch is off based on what their coach taught them. Now, their coach is correct in telling them that the punch starts in the legs, you rotate on the foot, which turns the hips, and that's where you get all of your power. But then they only focus on that and they forget everything else. And what tends to happen is when they throw the punch, either the timing is off where they rotate the hip and then the punch goes a little bit too late, or there's a broken link within the kinetic chain. And what I mean by that is I drive my foot into the earth, and the earth pushes that same amount of force back into my leg. That then causes the rotation of my hip, and that power drives up my back, into my shoulder, down the fist, and is transferred into the target. But if there's any broken links within there, then I lose that power. And it no longer goes into them, it just kind of dissipates somewhere in my body. So what I need to do is make sure that's all connected, and by the time the punch lands, it needs to be a solid impact. So some problem areas are the core, the shoulders, or the lat muscle back here isn't fully engaged, and there's some disconnection. So it looks something like this. Boom, the stomach's soft, so now there's not enough torque or rotation, and the energy doesn't send down the arm. Or it goes up to the shoulder, but now the shoulder isn't engaged, and now there's this give, right? I don't want any give. I want to hit, and I want to follow through that target, okay? And then sometimes it's the wrist, sometimes it's a soft hand, elbow. All the different joints are usually the problem areas where you lose it. So how can we do a drill to make sure that we are properly transferring our energy? We're going to throw form out the window. I know, look, I did 2 in a row where I'm dissing form. Form is important, I promise. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just giving you different drills to kind of give you a different look. So what we're going to do is throw some haymakers. Shout out to Ant. Throwing some of them haymakers today. I want you to just unload full power. Now for this drill, you got to have some gloves on. You go full power on a heavy bag or on Bob and you don't have conditioned knuckles, you're going to hurt yourself. So make sure you got your hand wraps on, make sure you got your gloves on, and I want you to just unload on his head, on his body. If you're on a heavy bag, then just wow on the bag. But I kind of want form to go out the window. I want looping punches. I want wide hooks, right? Haymakers. I want it to look like this. And when you do this, if you feel that your arm is kind of giving and bending back, if I hit and my body's going but my arm is slapping, that's no good. I don't want to slap. I want to hit and I want to follow through. So not this. I want this. Okay? Up to the head. I don't want this. I want this. That follow through. This will be a way to really pinpoint the different connections that are broken. If you are making this mistake, right? Maybe your core isn't engaged. Maybe it's your lat, maybe it's your shoulder, maybe it's your knuckle or forearm. All right? Throw some haymakers on Bob. Knock them out. All right, tip number 3 is relax. You live longer. Shout out to anyone who knows what movie that's from. Comment down below. Loosen up, right? In the previous one, I just talked about how you want to engage certain areas of the body when you throw the punch or when you connect, but that doesn't mean that everything has to be tense. For instance, if I throw a left jab, notice how my right arm is relaxed. Now that one's tensed up, the forearm is squeezing, the lat is engaged, right? I have some pressure and engagement within the core, but everything on this side of the body should be relaxed. I don't want to waste any of this energy. I don't want to tense up. I don't want to be rigid. So you have to loosen up. You have to relax. That's how you're going to have those faster punches, and that's how you're going to have much more accurate punches, by being relaxed. Try it out. Tense up your body and try to punch Bob in the nose. Got him on the cheek. I'm going to relax. I'm going to hit him on the nose. Bang. All right? So what I want you to do is a little bit of that, but another one that I learned from Vince, that he told me he learned from me, which isn't true, which is kind of funny, is limp arm shadowboxing. So Bob, I don't need you for this one. Thank you, sir. But what we're going to do is keep your arms just hanging dead at the sides. We're going to focus on good footwork, good head movement, and we're still going to throw punches, but we're not actually going to engage anywhere from the shoulder down. So it looks something like this. Jab, jab, cross, jab, 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 uppercut, hook to the body, jab, cross, hook, cross, uppercut, cross, left hook, cross, jab, jab, check hook. All right? It's a great one to just loosen up, to relax a little bit. Then you can start to engage the arms a little bit more. But keep them loose and relaxed. Instead of being very rigid and going. You're going to lose energy quick. You're going to have no accuracy. You're going to be tired. All right? You're going to have terrible punches. You're going to miss. So loosen up, relax. You'll live longer. Tip number 4 is stop telegraphing. Stop telling them that you're going to throw a punch. Very common one. I want you to just notice, I'm gonna throw what seems like a perfect punch, but there's gonna be a really big telegraph. It's not gonna look big, but it is big. All right? One more. It's this. It's this little motion right here. It's so that we can build momentum and then we can throw the punch. However, by doing that, I'm letting him know something's about to come. I'm about to throw the punch. Get ready to defend. All right, so instead of doing that, you have to train it out of your body to just throw the punch from here. All right, here, and the words in my head are just forward. Just think forward. I'm going from here to here instead of here, down, back. It's 3 steps as opposed to 1. I can go in one direction, A to B, or I can go A to B, B to C, C to D. I don't want to do that. You want to get the punch there quick. You want to hit them hard and you don't want them to know what's coming. All right, so a good drill, a good partner drill that you can do is one that I got. There's a great video of Michael Jai White and Kimbo Slice. I'm sure many of you guys have seen it, where Kimbo has his hand up. Michael Jai White says, I want you to move it when I throw the punch. And he telegraphs, and Kimbo moves it out of the way, and he doesn't get hit. And then he does another one. He says, all right, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go much slower, but I'm not going to telegraph it. And boom, he hits it. All right? So I'm going to have you do that, Bob. All right? But I'm going to try to move my hand, so don't telegraph. Ready? Throw your jab from southpaw. Go ahead, whenever you're ready. You're just gonna punch right here. Yeah, just try to hit my hand. I'm gonna try to move it out of the way. Okay, ready? All right. I don't know why Bob's so shy today, but you get the idea. So Bob's gonna throw a punch. I'm gonna try to move my hand, and instead of just going like one after another, it kind of loses the game loses its purpose. What I like to do is I call this the Wild Wild West drill. So it's when Bob's shoulders stop moving, that's when he's allowed to punch. So what I mean is if I'm the one punching and Bob, hold your hand up, Bob. Man, he's got stage fright or something. Well, let's just say Bob's holding his hand up, right? And when my shoulders stop moving, meaning when I get completely still, now it's free game to go. I can go right away or I can wait. And I call it the Wild Wild West because it's kind of like you got the tumbleweed going and it's like and waiting for who's got the quicker draw, right? So he's got his hand up. I'm still moving my shoulders, so I can't punch yet. Now that my shoulders stop moving, it's free to go. Breathing, and I'm just gonna think forward and bang. Well, if you had your hand up, I wouldn't hit you in the face. I'm sorry, do it again. I won't hit you in the face. All right, so when shoulders stop moving, bang. That's my fault. You guys get the idea. Great drill to stop telegraphing when throwing your punches. You will land way more once you get rid of that telegraph. All right, 5th and final fight tip is you got to stop undercommitting or overcommitting. You got to find that balance. You hear the word balance being used in martial arts all the time, and this is a very literal, physical explanation of what balance is. Overcommitting is usually when people have too much pressure on their lead foot, right? And when they throw their punches, they lean or they fall or they overextend. And if I don't land that and I go here, now I'm in a really bad spot to get countered, to get guillotined, to get taken down, to get redirected. All right, so you want to always be in a balanced position. The opposite side of that is undercommitting. Usually it's people who keep too much weight on their back leg and they're just too far away, they're too hesitant, they're definitely not going to land a right hand from here. They have to then transfer their weight. It's that much more time, it's that much more distance. Or they'll pull their punches and they'll go and they don't get the full extension or the full range of punch that they could. And I could land it from here, but I'm not because I'm just not getting full extension of my punches. Oftentimes it makes you feel faster, so you're like, oh, I just threw 8 punches. But you ain't gonna land those. You gotta get the full extension. So instead of, you gotta get the full extension in those punches, all right? So what we're gonna do is, again, I don't need you for this one, Bob. We're going to do what I call 3-point shadow boxing, all right? I'll take my gloves off so you can see a little more detail in my hands. But what I'm going to do is 3-point, meaning I have the extension, the stick, and the retraction. So 3 different points there. The extension is the push or going towards the target. So let's just take the jab. It's going out. So this is step 1. Step 2 is the stick. And what I mean by the stick is it's almost like if you're in a photo shoot and someone's taking pictures of you, you want to get them at the perfect spot at full extension, or this is where the punch lands. You want to be right here. You want to stick it. And then step 3 is pull the punch back. But I like flowing in shadowboxing, dedicating a full round or a couple of rounds to doing just this. And I'll go bang, 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 and what I'm focusing on is making sure that I have 50-50 weight distributed in both legs. I'm never overcommitting or leaning. I'm never undercommitting or pulling my punches. I'm making sure I get that full extension, that I'm sticking it, that the proper muscles are engaged, right? Talking about the previous tips, that the proper muscles that don't have to be engaged aren't engaged, that I'm staying loose when I'm here, and I'm only getting stiff in the certain areas that I have to upon impact. I'm fully retracting, I'm moving my head, right? I'm doing all these different things, being defensively and offensively sound. But again, it's your time to just slow things down, go step by step, and then when you incorporate all of these drills together, that's when you start seeing the benefits and the improvements in your punches. And now for the sixth unforeseen fight tip, you gotta be shadowboxing more. You gotta get those reps in. Instead of only playing concerts in front of a live audience, think about the musicians that spend countless hours at home practicing on the guitar. It's the same thing with shadowboxing for fighters. That's your time to perfect your form, to perfect your timing, and build that muscle memory. Plus, it's much safer to make mistakes at home in shadowboxing than it is in sparring or in competition where you're really gonna pay for it. All right, so follow along to these 5 tips in conjunction with the drills that we have on fighttips.com, and I promise you, you will make leaps and bounds as a fighter. If you like the videos that we put out on Fight Tips on the YouTube channel, then you're gonna love fighttips.com. The YouTube channel is the journal entries, and fighttips.com is the entire book. It's the curriculum. Follow along to our drills in the MMA IQ roadmap, the hybrid striking course, the footwork shadowboxing program, and like I said, your skills will skyrocket, I promise. And if they don't, I'll give you your money back. All right, just hit me up. We do offer a 14-day money-back guarantee. If you don't like it within those 14 days, you cancel, you won't get charged anything at all. But even after that, if you're doing it for a month, 2 months, and you don't like it, you're not seeing any progress, I'll give you your money back, no problem, all right? Links in the description below. It's $7 a month. You'll get direct contact with me and with all of the other fighters on the forum, plus access to all of our courses on there. All right, you want to do the outro, Bob? No, you good? All right, I'll do it. Until next time, I'm Shane with Fight Tips for the Underdog.